Good day. I'm Professor Steve Olivier, Principal and Vice-Chancellor of Robert Gordon University, and I'd like to welcome you to our Summer Graduation 2021. It is, of course, a virtual ceremony, which is unfortunate. We would certainly have preferred it to be physical and in person, but I'm afraid it's just not possible. Nevertheless, I'm really keen to congratulate you and to welcome you to what is a fantastic day. At ceremonies throughout the world this year, there will be words used such as extraordinary, unprecedented. We've become familiar with all of those, and of course it has indeed been that sort of year. In many ways, though, university staff and students have proceeded as normal in terms of assessments. You've learned, you've sat your assessments, and you've passed, so well done. However, we continue to be challenged, both as staff, students, and as society. And these challenges have not just been severe, but they've been prolonged, and they're still ongoing, even though there is some light at the end of the tunnel. So, while it's been, in one way, a normal year, it's been difficult, but you have done exceptionally well. So congratulations and well done. So I, all of our staff, the people who have supported you, your family, friends, salute you. It's your hard work and your determination that has seen you through this year, to the point where you can proudly say that you graduated from the Scottish University of the Year. So again, well done. It's not, however, just an occasion to congratulate you, but to thank you. You've given us feedback, you've helped us to improve, and ultimately what you will have done is to help us to emerge stronger from this as well. You've helped to shape the student experience, to refine it, and improvement, and that's what we're all about, constant improvement. The result, of course, is that your university has one of the highest levels of student satisfaction in Scotland and in the UK, and also an outstanding reputation for graduate employability. So you've gained knowledge while studying at RGU, but knowledge is provisional. It changes constantly. What I hope won't change is your pursuit of it, of new knowledge, your relentless pursuit of it. We've taught you the skills to question what you learn, to seek answers, but then to move on to find the next questions as well. It's more than just a practice. It's an attitude. It's a state of mind. And we taught you to adopt it, want you to continue using it. And if you do that, you'll be an incredibly valuable asset to people that you work with or those around you if you're self-employed. Above all, I'd like to leave you with one message, and that it would be to develop, nurture, and use what I call the curiosity imperative. So ask questions, answer them, improve whatever you're doing, in whatever you're doing. I would, however, like to spare a thought as you graduate for those who have helped you along the way. Why not go a step further than just sparing them a thought, though? Contact them, say thank you to them in whatever means you use. However you wish to do it, show your gratitude. I would urge you to do that. Spread a little bit of courtesy and kindness. And kindness is important in what has, of course, been an extraordinary year. Before I finish, I'd like to pay sincere and deep tribute to our University Chancellor, Sir Ian Wood. This will be his last graduation as the titular head of the institution. Throughout his time as Chancellor, Sir Ian has conferred thousands of degrees upon our students, as well as many honorary graduates. He has been a pivotal figure in RGU initiatives and projects. His guidance and support over the past 16 years have been invaluable to RGU, and we owe him a sincere debt of gratitude for everything he's done for the university. So this marks the end of a remarkable era, but we very much hope that Sir Ian will remain a close friend of RGU, of our community of staff, students, and alumni. And we now look forward to the future with Dame Evelyn Glennie as our new Chancellor, but with one eye on the past and the lessons that have been learned with Sir Ian at the helm. So with some light at the end of the tunnel for this year, as you embark on the next chapter in your lives, I would once again like to wish you all the very, very best and congratulations for what you have achieved. Thank you and all the best for the future.
On behalf of all students, it's our great honour to congratulate the class of 2021. We'd like to thank the Chancellor, the Principal, Board of Governors, Academic Council, Senior University Management and all members of staff at RGU. who have guided us through our most challenging times at university, and who have adapted in the most inspiring ways to support and enhance our student experience. To our families and friends, we thank you also. We thank you for your love and support. We just could not have done it without you. Today is indeed a remarkable day because it's a day of reflection of your journey, the challenges, the hurdles, the successes, and of course, what you have achieved today. So please never underestimate the challenges you have overcome and what you're capable of achieving in the future.
It is true that these uncertain times have appeared unexpectedly and tried to derail your achievements, but your resilience, your attitude, and the audacity to have hope in such a trying time is what every one of you will and should be remembered for. So dear class of 2021, it is an absolute honor to congratulate you today. I understand the hurdles that you've had to jump, the sleepless nights, the tireless hours spent on coursework and assessments while surviving a global pandemic. All that doesn't matter now. What matters is that you've made it and you're here.
Although we have thanked many people today, it's important that as individuals you take a moment to look back with pride on what you have achieved and to realise that you have reached the end of your journey thanks to your dedication and effort throughout your time at RGU. I want to wish you the best of luck for the future. Please dream big and remember what's meant to be won't pass you by. So believe in yourself, challenge your goals and take a moment to reflect on what you've achieved so far. You'll always have a home here at RGU, so please never be a stranger. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2021.
Hello, I'm Laura Binney and I'm Head of School of Health Sciences. Welcome to all our graduates and to family and friends who join us online today. I know that this isn't the graduation you had planned for, but I really do hope that this virtual graduation goes some way in recognising and celebrating your success. And I speak on behalf of the staff within the school who are disappointed to not be able to share this special day with you. I really do hope you're all taking the opportunity to mark this amazing achievement with your family and friends. Congratulations to you, class of 2021. I hope that you have and will continue to look back on your time here in the School of Health Sciences and at RGU as one of the best times of your life, where you've gained new knowledge, learned new skills and made some lifelong friends. For some of you, there might have been some struggles and some difficult moments, but through your commitment, hard work and determination to succeed, you have done it. COVID-19 changed the final stages of your learning. Your commitment, professionalism and adaptability are to be commended. During our response to the pandemic, we all worked together to make sure you could complete your course. And through your hard work and dedication, you have achieved, and for that, you should be very proud of yourselves. Throughout your time with us, as you know, staff in the school are hugely committed to providing you with varied and authentic learning opportunities, working collaboratively and learning from and about one another. We strive to make sure all our graduates are practice ready, with transferable skills, who are innovative, responsive, resilient and flexible. And I know that each and every one of you possess these skills and attributes. And whichever step you take next, whether it be entering an ever-changing workforce, continuing your education, or choosing a career in research, I know you're all fully equipped to succeed. I'm really excited about the future for each of you graduating today, how you will shape your career and the positive impact you will have on people's lives. On behalf of all of the staff within the school, we congratulate you. We are very proud of you all, and we wish you well as you move into the next exciting chapters in your lives. Chancellor, I present to you the graduates of School of Health Sciences and ask that you confer the following awards of the university on them.
Atinyuk Janet Afolabi, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Patrick Burke, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Davin Byrne, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Aaron Commons, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Joseph David Craggs, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Austin James Davies, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Marina Christine De Angelis, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Eva Marie Elliott, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Sirsha Farrelly, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Carly Kera Lee Fraser, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Paul Cameron Fraser, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Kaylin Granger, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Denise Patricia Hallisey, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Daniel John James Hillhouse, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Sinead Elizabeth Hoctor, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Sarah Jahangirizadeh, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Janissa Georgia Madalena, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Stephen Robert Main, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Alexander Anthony Manarino, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Crystal Diana McMinstocker, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Erin Elizabeth Moore, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Joel Gracia Mulo-Waie, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Rachel O'Leary, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Sinead Emma Riley, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Julia Laurel Roth, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Shane Lee Shawse, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Dara Chanel Tan, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Megan Lee Taylor, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Adriana Jessica Anand Tamaccio, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Alcina Feng Yin Wei, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Adam Frederick Zajdman, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Genevieve Chukwufum Nanya Abar, Master of Science Public Health and Health Promotion. Katie Kerr, Master of Science Public Health and Health Promotion. Chimaobi Chukwamika Ohia, Master of Science Public Health and Health Promotion. Yushia, Master of Science Public Health and Health Promotion. Rachel Elise Arnett, Postgraduate Diploma Physiotherapy, PRE registration.
Woohoo! 2 degrees down, 1 to go. Congrats everyone, it was a crazy year, but we made it!
Stuart Paul Watt, Postgraduate Diploma Physiotherapy, PRE registration. Siobhan Marie Lean, Postgraduate Diploma Public Health and Health Promotion. Julie Claire Jones, Postgraduate Certificate Researcher Development. Maim Ama Owusu-Asante, Postgraduate Certificate Researcher Development. Laura Ann Kerr, Postgraduate Certificate Strategic Service Planning and Delivery in Health and Social Care. Ross Adam Anderson. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Aidan Blagden. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Adam William Blakey. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Megan Boyle. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Gillian Jane Clark. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Cesar Augusto Colorado Franco. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Lewis Murray Cowie. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Maximilian Doby. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Fraser Alistair Mercer Ellison. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Isla Alexandra Gordon. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Aidan Patrick Hawhey. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Erin Jappi. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Aidan Alexander Kent. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Megan Frances Law Clark. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. David Malikoff. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Rebecca Matheson. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Siobhan Louise Matthew. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Ailish Emily McCall. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Lewis Cameron Milton. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Emma Elaine Murray. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Edmondo Paciocco. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Declan Alexander Pajewski. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Reese Phillips. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Ross Sangster. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Andrew Santos. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Lewis Mitchell Sawyer. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Callum Scott. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Michael Brian Simpson. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Isabella Kira Tolometti. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Kyle Robert Andrew Wicks. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Jason Habel Woods. Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science Honours. Pia Grain Philip Adam. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Celeste Gwyneth Aitken Timpson. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Faye Buchan. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Georgia Butler. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Natalie Cardosi. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours.
I'd just like to thank everyone who's been there for me and helped me throughout the last 4 years, and I'd just like to say I've made some great friends who I'm never going to forget.
Alana Carruthers. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Poppy Church-Olney. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Hannah Louise Cuthill. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Rachel Doherty. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Lauren Donald. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Nevin Galligan. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Jonathan Giblin. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Jennifer Myrie Hill. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Julie Hunter. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Jenny Kate Irvin. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Louise Johnson. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Abby Johnston. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Emily Lind. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Nondi Tarkitsi Morag Maisko. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Lyadane McDermott. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Megan Lucy McGowan. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Sophie Louise Mackay. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Natalie McLaughlin. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Katrina Macmillan. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Lois Catherine Morrison. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Lorenzo Munzi. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Laura Murphy. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Claire Isbridger. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Lucy Elizabeth Robertson. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Amanda Lily Smollett. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Kayla Thorpe. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Sophie Erin Wishart. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Tyler Sam Wood. Bachelor of Science Diagnostic Radiography Honours. Katrina Bain. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Annalisa Brigo. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Megan Bruce. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Anne-Sophie Grantstrom. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Michelle Kaimis. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Megan Grace McLean. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Bethany Helen Merson. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Ava Maria Regan. Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Kim Restall, Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Chloe Louise Robertson, Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Emma Naomi Westwater, Bachelor of Science Nutrition and Dietetics Honours. Eden Rhoda Baxter, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Murray Francis Bell, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Laura Beth Brannan, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. May Rose Shearer Bridle, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Caitlin Brown, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Rachel Elizabeth Cairns, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Jane Dolphin, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Mark Fairweather, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Sarah Mossworth, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Katrina Foote, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Chloe Forbes, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Aisling Louise Goulding, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Lindsay Hammond, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Ellen Jane Hegarty, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Kaoilt Hines, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Catherine Jean Irvin, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Nicola Liddell Joyner, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Elodie Camille Laudit, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Lauren MacLeod, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Laurie Jane McPherson, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Emma Meskill, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Aoife Newcomb, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Jade O'Donnell, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Ayobami Ojuola Oladipo, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours.
Congratulations, class 2021. It hasn't been the easiest journey, but we made it. So congratulations, everybody, and good luck, guys.
Saoirse Quinn, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Eileen Ryan, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Lois Kate Taylor, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Abby Wilson, Bachelor of Science Occupational Therapy Honours. Amy Ruth Bannerman, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Hamish John Battle, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Kirsten Margaret Bennett, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Dara Book, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Keelan Brophy, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Kira Donlevy, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Emily Foster, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Anna Catherine Fraser, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Rihanna Jennifer Gibson, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Robin Amber Hughes, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Catriona Allison Hutchison, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Catherine Johnson, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Hannah Rachel Levin, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Maria Claire Levitt, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Connor Patrick Madden, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Carly Patricia Main, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Amy Louise Mee, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Rory Talisker Oliver Jones, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Thomas Pescuma, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Ethan Christian Robert, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Emma Catherine Rickman, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Katie Michelle Spence Robson, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Willem Franz Alexander Ross, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Emma Jane Scott, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Emma Shilton, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Caitlin Mackay Vogt, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Jessica Ann Watt, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Joe Welsh, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Heather Leanne Winfield, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Amy Wright, Bachelor of Science Physiotherapy Honours. Jack E.A. Sun, Bachelor of Science Sport Coaching Honours. Antonia Lawrence, Bachelor of Science Sport Coaching Honours. Ashley Megan Priest, Bachelor of Science Sport Coaching Honours. Matthew Paul Gardner, Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science. Robin William Johnson, Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science. Greg Kenneth Sergi, Bachelor of Science Applied Sport and Exercise Science. Rosie Lucas Graham, Bachelor of Science Sport Coaching. Ailey Reed, Bachelor of Science Sport Coaching. Benjamin Cowdick, Diploma of Higher Education Health-Related Professional Studies. Sarah Louise Yip, Diploma of Higher Education Nutrition. Gregor Mark Thomas, Certificate of Higher Education Health-Related Professional Studies. Amy Louise Thorne, Certificate of Higher Education Health-Related Professional Studies. Karina Stundite, Certificate of Higher Education Nutrition and Health Studies. Ailey Fiona Campbell, Master of Science Physiotherapy, PRE registration.
First of all, I need to tell you this will be my last graduation speech as your Chancellor. I've very much enjoyed the role for 17 years, and particularly graduating over 25,000 students, it seems an awful lot, and having the opportunity to talk to you all. On a broader front, I've also thoroughly enjoyed my contact and involvement with the university, having worked with 5 principals over that period of time. The university has changed hugely. We now have one of the finest campuses in Scotland. We've developed to become one of the top one or two new universities in Scotland, and there's been significant positive evolution in the number of courses now on offer, with of course a focus on environment and the new energies. Aberdeen itself has changed substantially. Oil and gas was very dominant when I became Chancellor in 2004, and it has continued to serve the North East of Scotland well, but is now clearly beginning to show signs of depletion, with the new energies, on and offshore wind, hydrogen and carbon capture and storage now coming to the fore. I very much enjoyed meeting and spending some time with our honorary graduates, people like Terry Waite, Sir Ronald Fiennes, Denis Law, Dame Kathleen Granger, Nicola Benedetti, Rachel Corsie, Stuart McBride and Dame Evelyn Glennie, among many others, which we are now proud to have as our honorary graduates. And we've had many VIP visits during my time. Among the recent ones, the opening of the Serene Wood building by Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal in 2015, Prince Harry's visit in 2016 to learn more about street sport, and the President of Mexico's visit in 2017 to learn more about RGU's work with the energy sector. During the 17 years, RGU has received many awards and accolades. A gold rating in the Teaching Excellence Framework, placing us in the top 20% of the best universities in the UK for the quality of our undergraduate teaching and learning. We've been awarded the best modern university in the UK. We've consistently been near the top of the graduate employment record across the UK. We've been at the forefront of introducing graduate apprenticeships and Startup Innovation Accelerator, and now we have our own Energy Transition Institute. RGU was involved in the launch of the National Subsea Centre in 2020, and right up to date, RGU was named Scottish University of the Year by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. I'm also delighted that I'm being succeeded as Chancellor by Dame Evelyn Glennie. I've known her for a long time. She's a great lady, and I know she'll, as well as being a great world-class percussionist, I know she'll be an extremely able and valuable Chancellor. So, to your graduation. My warmest congratulations to all of you for successfully graduating in what has been a surreal and exceptionally difficult period, both for you and for the university. Please don't in any way let that detract from your achievements on this proud and exciting Red Letter Day. We're recognising the huge amount of work you've all done to get your degrees. Many congratulations to you all, and to the many proud mums and dads, families and friends out there proudly helping celebrate your success. I've always included in my speech some general advice intended to help you as you chart your career and your life ahead, and I feel this final speech shouldn't be an exception. So, firstly, in this incredible challenge of change world, you must be constantly proactive to new approaches and ideas. Completely out of the blue, and hopefully coming to an end, is the huge COVID-19 pandemic challenge. I certainly hope the biggest health challenge that your generation will face. Certainly it's by far the biggest one that my generation has faced. Secondly, we have the transformational impact of digital technology, which is changing so many aspects of our lives. If continuous change and improvement are not at the forefront of your thinking, frankly, you're almost certainly going backwards. Standing still equals complacency, which is a bad destination and a real danger to you not realising your potential. Thirdly, don't assume it's a fair world out there. Bill Gates speaks of 11 life unfairness rules, which should be compulsory for young people. Just one example, rule number 10, be nice to nerds. Chances are you'll end up working for one. So don't get indignant. Don't lose the place when you come up against the world's injustices, of which there are many. Be pragmatic, plan and work your way through the real world as it is, warts and all. Don't waste your time recriminating on the what-ifs of the past. Concentrate on the what-ifs of the future as you work your way towards realising your full potential. Fourthly, don't be a spectator. Most of the things that have gone wrong in this world have gone wrong because good people stood by and let them happen. The great explorer Ernest Shackleton defined optimism as moral courage. I urge you to be morally courageous. Be a maker, be a doer, be a creator, or whatever. Don't just sit back and criticise, because that's far too easily, and frankly should be way beneath you. As from today, you are no longer a spectator. You have graduated into the real world and are now endorsed and engaged as a player. There's a very wise saying, inside many an old person is a young person asking what happened. What have I done with my life? Don't be that person. Fifthly, don't be afraid to make mistakes and don't fear failure. I've lost count of the number of mistakes I've made in my business career. The key thing is to recognise them quickly and rectify them. Don't ever hide from your mistakes. You'll just compound them. Some failure in life is inevitable unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. Sixthly, think global. Some of the biggest problems we are currently facing in our country, the economic financial challenges, COVID-19, the availability of energy, climate change, and the threat of terrorism, these are all global and need global solutions. And Scotland, or whatever country you come from, is not the centre of the world. Our world has no centre. It's a matrix of countries, religions, ethnic groups, and cultures. Seventhly, although global business is highly competitive, you absolutely don't need to compromise on your principles and ethics. Ethical business practice and corporate social responsibility is a key part of Robert Gordon University. Don't ever in business sacrifice your self-respect or your integrity. Penultimately, when you've chosen, go for it. Don't ever underestimate your own potential. It's incredible what the human spirit can do if you really believe in yourself and set your sights high. Right now you're focused on getting a good job and taking the next step in your life. But each of you should have a dream based on ambitious goals, well in excess of your reasonable expectations. Really challenge your aspiration and don't let cannot dominate your vocabulary. I was Wood Group's first employee in the oil and gas industry in 1970. I set off with energy and zeal, but frankly not at all sure where I was going or how I might get there. When I retired from Wood Group, now 9 years ago, it employed 43,000 people working in 50 countries around the world. You can climb mountains and cross wide seas. And finally, in this very troubled world, be responsible, caring and tolerant. Our planet and its different inhabitants, whether God or science made, is truly an incredible miracle. If you have any doubt, just watch a David Attenborough Blue Planet series or the Brian Cox Planet programs. The truth is, we are unbelievably privileged to have time here. What is quite unforgivable is that our lack of tolerance of race and creed and our inability to balance wealth and well-being are abusing that privilege and possibly irretrievably damaging our ecosystem and our children's future. Different religions, races and cultures must be prepared to live together and support each other in a generally more caring and tolerant society. And lastly, I'm going to tell you something you may not want to hear. In the context of the global world we live in, you are very privileged. Your intelligence, your talents, your capacity for hard work, the excellent education you've earned and received gives you unique status and unique responsibilities. To whom much is given, much is expected. and the way you live your lives, the values you adopt, the example you set, all will have an impact way beyond your borders. With privilege comes responsibility, and I urge you to discharge it altruistically and caringly. If you choose to use your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who don't have a voice, if you choose to identify not only with the powerful, but also with the powerless, if you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who don't have your advantages, then you could achieve great things with the power to change our world for the better. Once again, we're really sorry you've been unable to enjoy a normal graduation experience, but don't underestimate the importance of this day. This is your day, a very important day in your lives, and the opportunity is now open to you. Please enjoy a well-earned celebration with your family and friends, and let my final words as Chancellor be to tell you, you are the future, and I wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you very much.